We're here today with Sarah Holmes. Mrs. Holmes is a candidate for District Court Judge of the 2nd Judicial District. Thank you for being with us, Ms. Holmes.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about who Sarah Holmes is and what your background is in relation to this office you're running for.
I'm a native of Beaufort County, born and raised in Washington, went to Washington High School. From there I went to North Carolina State University where I got a business degree. After that I got married, moved to Arkansas with my husband and went to law school in Arkansas where we lived. After that I took the bar in Arkansas, passed the bar there. I really missed North Carolina, and so I came back and took the bar exam in North Carolina.
Tell us about your work experience.
First thing I did when I passed the bar was go to work for a fairly large private law firm. I worked there for a few years, and I had folks talking to me about where I could go forward in my career. And at that point in time I had a choice. I could stay working in the law firm, or I could become a public defender. And the people that I really admired were saying, Sarah, the way to go is public service law. You will enjoy that. This is the kind of person that you are. And so I took the job with the public defender's office, where I worked for some years.
For those of us who may not know what a public defender does, how about telling us briefly what a public defender is?
Public defender is a lawyer that is appointed to criminal cases where defendants are considered indigent or cannot afford their own attorneys, and they go to court and they ask the judge to please appoint a lawyer to them because their case is beyond their capabilities. And what I did was help people who couldn't afford to help themselves.
And beyond being a public defender, what other experience have you had?
After that, I was recruited to go to district attorney's office where I worked as an assistant After that, I was...
No, hold on. Let's
Okay.
get a gap in here. Okay, tell us a little bit more about what your experience was after being a public defender.
After I worked as a public defender, I was recruited to go to work in a district attorney's office where I worked for some years as well as an assistant district attorney. And that was prosecuting cases. And I just want to stress this because assistant district attorneys are not there to persecute people, they are there to prosecute. And a lot of people don't understand that our rules of professional conduct require that we are prosecutors and not persecutors.
Very good. So when you left the district attorney's office, where did you go then?
I went into a small private practice on my own. I always took cases where I felt like I could help people. I did not have a country club practice. I had the practice where sometimes I represented people pro bono just because they needed my help. And I always felt very strongly about being a good advocate for my clients.
How did you end up in Hyde County?
My mother's mother's family, originally from Hyde County. My mother has gone back to live there now in a house that was built in 1750s that has been in her family ever since. Although I was raised in Beaufort County, my father's family and my father's mother all from Beaufort County, but my mother's family from Hyde County. And magistrate position came up there, and I said, well, here's another level that I can take that allows me to work for the public good.
Very good. Well, let me skip back. You mentioned that your family having roots in Hyde County and in Beaufort County. I understand you have a daughter.
I do have a daughter, yes.
What
I
does
have
she
one
do?
child, a daughter, who actually lives in Wake County now, but she went to Washington High School also. Graduated from Washington High School, went to school at East Carolina, and now she works as a paid spokesperson for Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, and Beretta Guns, essentially.
Wow. Maybe you could convince her to switch jobs with me then. So
I think she loves her
assume
job.
she has a positive attitude towards the Second Amendment.
Definitely a Second Amendment advocate.
Did she get that from you, or do y'all argue about it?
Do we argue about it?
Yeah.
My grandmother used to take my brothers, not I because I have no hand-eye coordination, but my grandmother used to take my brothers duck and goose hunting in Hyde County.
So hunting is in the family.
Hunting is in the family, yep.
And so you would have a hard time at Thanksgiving if you didn't support the Second Amendment.
Oh, absolutely. We're not trophy hunters in my family. We are hunters who go out and hunt for what we want to eat. And nothing better than a Thanksgiving goose.
Tell us about the position you're running for and why you want to be a district court judge. I mean, you sounded like you were getting a lot of fulfillment out of being a magistrate. So why would you want to leave that and become a district court judge?
Well, there's a certain autonomy being a district court judge, but it's moving up a level where I'm going to see more people, I'm going to help more people, I'm going to advocate, although I'm not actually an advocate as a judge, but I'm going to I'm having a
It's okay. Let's put a pause in that. I think one of the things you ought to do when I would come back and I ask you about why you would want to be a district court judge, I think what you ought to do is to say, as a defense attorney and as an assistant district attorney, I know how district court works. I've had a lot of experience in that. And I think there are ideas that I have that can improve the administration of justice in district court. And I think doing that is something that would be, however you want to say that. I think the idea of saying that you believe that you can do more to improve the court system as a district court judge than you're able to do in a magistrate's position.
I think you gotta avoid, I'm a different with Bill. I think going back to the same